So now let's create a new project. Okay, new circuit. You go over here. After you logged in, you go to circuits, create a new circuit. And this new circuit, what we're gonna get, familiar with today is how to get some components and wire them to a breadboard. So basically, what we need an Arduino. Okay, here we go. And we need an LED, let's say. Okay, this is an LED. Always keep in mind an LED needs to have a resistor. It does matter, the resistor, because resistors could varies. Those colors, they mean something. Okay, there is a chart where you can know how many ohms I have. So the more ohms I use, less current will go and will make maybe some LEDs look fader. So you have to be just this is a good one. So let's say I want to get the smaller one. You can see it's changing the color. Okay, this is bigger one. Okay, what we're gonna do, we're gonna use this 1 kilo ohms. Okay, now this is our part. This is the LED, and I want this to run. I don't want to write any code in the beginning. I just want to get familiar with the pin out of the Arduino. As you know, here we have always negative. Okay, this is the cathode. You can always click on it, and you can click on any component. So let's say I do not know what's this. Click on it. It will tell you, hey, this is a resistor, and you can give it a name. Okay, so I'm gonna call it LED, for instance, a resistor. Okay, so all set here. So it is there. This one here, you wanna call it LED. You can call it, for instance, first. Okay, LED. Okay, the advantage of this, when you go to the component, you can see your stuff here that you just declared. Back to the, see, this is the way it goes. Okay, and here, as I said in some other previous sessions, you can download this and have an Excel sheet of all your parts. Back to the task, this is what I'm going to be using. Later on, I'm going to add to it a breadboard. But let's say, hey, I want to use this without a breadboard. Okay. We have to be careful about cathode and anode. Okay. Cathode is the negative, anode is the positive. Okay. And you can see from the leg here. Okay. So, how I'm going to connect these? How I'm going to make them fit here? It's very simple. You just click on this. See here? Click on this and you take it right straight forward to the ground. Okay? This is let's say the negative, the black, the 0 voltage, okay? Whatever you want to call it. And to be consistent, I will make it black, okay? So this is the cathode. The other one is the positive one. So I said I don't want to use the program inside the microcontroller. I just want to take advantage of the power, of the power of this Arduino. So I only need from it the positive and the negative. This is the negative. What is the positive? We said before, this is the positive. This is always positive, always positive. Whether the program here is running or not, okay? This is always giving me, supplying, me with 5 volts, okay? So here we have something very dangerous, okay? Very dangerous. You have to be aware of. Okay, it's not the end of the world, but you have to be careful. If I do this, what will happen? And how I'm gonna send the power to this LED? Basically, I have to activate the power. How? And using this Tinker, I can just click on start. Okay. So now I got power. Uh-oh, we have a problem. What's the problem? You can see the message here. It's telling me, hey, you are supplying this LED with 483 milliamp, okay? While the maximum can get is a 20 milliamp. So it is like 200, 200 times more, or 20 times more, I want to say, okay? So this is a problem. This is a problem. So what should I do? The solution is you stop the simulation, Control Z, okay? We put a resistor in series, okay? So this is in series. Now, before the voltage, goes straight to the LED, it has to go through what? Through the resistor, okay? You can see it. It's going through the resistor from 5 volt all the way to here, okay? And to be consistent here, you have to make it red. Okay, now let's try it. So now I have to power it up. You start the simulation. Here we go. We are all set. This is on. Okay, everything is happy. So this is the way you wire stuff. You have to be careful about your electronic connection. And when we talk about connection, we mean the negative has to go to the negative, the positive has to go to the positive, and you have to be careful about your pins, okay? And we discussed that before. Here I'm not using any pin that I need to program. Those are digital pins. Okay, some of them I can use them for PWM, which is pulse width modulation. I can use it for for analog purposes, for servo motors to control the speed of a servo motor. Here I have analog. Okay, those are analogs. Pins here I can use them as inputs by default. If you want them to be used as output, you can program them. Okay, using pin mode function. We can do that later on. Analog here, those are analog, but I can also utilize them for digital. When I say analog, just a quick reminder, this analog means, hey, I'm going to be measuring like stuff like temperature, it's not 0 and 1, okay? All this, I don't need them. All this, when we talk about the rest of these pins, okay, transmitting, receiving, which is for serial, those are controlled by the microcontroller, okay? Usually, I have to use the microcontroller to talk to them or write to them. What I did, I just bypassed all this and I just used the source, the voltage source of this, okay? This is, I'm powering up my LED here using, those pins. Has nothing to do with the others, which I usually program, okay? Which I usually program. Yes, maybe pin 13, if you take a look at pin 13 here, this is the way I click on the end of this line and put it on pin 13, you can see it here. It's all set, okay? As simple as that. If I run this, pin 13, in our Arduino board, by default is on, off, on, off. It will be blinking, okay? So the rest, no, nothing will happen. So, if I want to wire this, let's say to 11, oops, okay, like this mistake I did, all what you have to do, press escape, and you are all set. You don't like this, you can always delete it, okay? You bring it back here, okay, let's say I want to put it on 11, that's it. Just to click here or click there, okay, and start your wiring. So let's do that again. Okay, I click on here, keep dragging my mouse all the way to there. I'm all set. And we want to choose the color again one more time. This is red. Okay, all awesome. If I check the code, okay, this is my code. Okay, this is what my code. This is for pin 13. I'm not using pin 13, so I'm using pin 11. So if I run it, nothing will happen. Okay, nothing will happen because the code is for, okay. But if I go now, okay, this is very interesting now, and get a battery. Okay, if I get a battery, this is my battery. So let's move this around. I'm just making you, getting familiar with this stuff. Okay, let's put it here. So now what will happen? This is a 9 volt. This is my positive. You can see positive. And this is my negative. So I'm gonna wire this now to here. Like this. Okay, good. Okay. Delete this first. I'm just want to start this from scratch. This is now what? Black. And this is my red. Okay. As simple as that. Okay. It's gonna work. Let's just try it. It is working. Okay. Same functionality. So basically, rather than buying a 9 volt, stuff, I can do that using the power supply. Okay, I can do that using the power supply of my Arduino. Okay, so this is my Arduino. It's already giving me the needed power, so I don't have to worry about why, because this is providing me with 5 volts. Okay, and with the nice closed circuit, so I will have this on. Now, if I want to program this, you can see here it's always on. If I want to turn it on for 5 seconds, then turn it off for 5 seconds here, then we have to talk about what of programming. If that's the case, we have to write a program and download it to this. Later on, we'll show you how. In Tinkercad, you just have to go click on code and you can write the code here. In real life, you have to compile it and then download it to the Arduino using your USB connection. This is it for wiring. Our next